All right. So today's tips and tricks in Blackboard, and this is the original title of it, but we're going to go a little bit beyond this kind of stuff, and I'll show you some other tips and tricks. How many of you are using Blackboard Service Pack 13? How many of you are using Service Pack 14? How many of you don't know what the hell I'm talking about? Okay. Well, fine. I'm going to show you how you can find your service packs. Okay, so let's just get started here. One of the things that we're finding out is about document attachments. We're going to talk about stop attaching, man. Many of us attach. How many of you guys attach content after content? You upload and your content. Okay, well, including the syllabus, people be uploading and all that kind of stuff. Well, the more the students have to click, the more they disengage. There's just too much clicking, and they can, fine, wait till it comes down, put it on my tablet, they can read it on an iPad or an iPhone or whatever. But we also have the other issue of handicapped people. That's a lot of work for them. They have to click and have to roll if they have cerebral palsy or whatever it might be. That's a problem. So we help our students and make it easy for us as well by not attaching, but be your own author. You are in charge. Remember, if you have Blackboard or any element, you're in charge. Those are your shells, okay? So when we use the content improved in Service Pack 14, that is, watch that microphone to go chatting. Awesome content editor. The editor in there, which we're going to talk about for the lab, is awesome. I'm going to show you some fun stuff in there. Think of it as an online Word or Google Docs or open Word source. I don't care what you guys do, because Microsoft Office is no longer God, right? That's changed. How many of you have used Dreamweaver? Okay, so the thing is like a little mini Dreamweaver inside. You also know that from Linda Wyman there. Make your own content your way. That's the big thing. It's flexible. You can make your own content the way you want to do it. It's online. It's locked down. It cannot be modified by the students. Okay? That's you. Are you allergic to me? Okay. And you can make it a beautiful delivery and then look really good because it's web pages. And it's easy to read on the iPad, easy to read on the smartphone, whatever it might be. Okay? You can aim it at images, videos, and links. This morning at this workshop, we had some really good discussions on videos. Really good stuff. So, when we do this, we use our web content. We put our stuff in there. Students love reading the content. They don't have to click down or click down or click it right there. Smack them. Right in front of their face. Lock down, can be read on computers, laptops. They look sharp in Blackboard. They really do. And it becomes really an online book is what it comes down to. It's like an e-doc. You can write your own stuff. Okay? You can even do that and incorporate it into an addendum to other books that may already be available into the e-books in the market. How many of you are using e-books? Elaine, this is scary. How many of you have ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Dr. Bob Famusi? Don't worry. We better bring back Bob next year. Oh, I know you and I have. We better bring him back next year. Do you guys realize that textbooks are going to be phased out in the next year and a half? That's what Bob is saying. So we've got to start thinking here. We've got to start using the e-book technology. And you can do that inside Blackboard. That's what we're going to do. So, what I'm going to do, go into mine. Don't you just love Prezi? Who uses Prezi? Cool. Cool. They won't do any Prezi with stuff. They know I'm doing. Okay. Now, I am in Firefox. Why? Because I love Firefox. Blackboard does not like Internet Explorer very well. I always have problems. So do my kids. I tell all my faculty that I work with and train to use Firefox with Blackboard because of the Java. Internet Explorer is not Java friendly. Firefox is Java friendly. As a matter of fact, Netscape, which is what Firefox is based on, made on Java. So you'll have a lot less problems if you use Firefox. Okay, that's tip number 1. Going to tip number 5. Fire. Now, here's the next tip. For those of you who do not know what I was talking about, the service packs, you need to know. Let me show you how you find that. When you go to your logon screen, and you see down here at the very bottom, it says Installation Details. Did I do that? Did I do that? Did my microphone turn off? Installation Details. If you will look, it is 9.1. That's Blackboard Learn. Blackboard Learn is 9.1. 14. Okay, if you're on 13, you'll be 13 next year. If you're on 11, God help you get out of 11, please get out of 11. But no, 9, so we're on 14, at least my school is. So, that's how you find your... No, Service Pack 14 was out in February, but we do our installs in between semesters. And so we just had, well, I've been playing with this since it came out on our test servers, but we got installed on our other servers just recently. And our summer faculty are already loving it. So that's how you find your service pack. So if you need to know that, the reason why you need to know that is because some of your cartridges from the publishers and stuff, they need to know which service pack you're using, because it impacts the operation of some of their games and that kind of stuff, like Cengage and that kind of stuff. So it's good to know that. So, aren't you glad you came to this class already? I hate those silent treatments. Oh, wait, it's not password. I have too many passwords in my job. There we go. Okay. No, we're not going to talk about principles of human sexuality. That's just a class I'm helping out with another teacher. All right. So first of all, when you do the content editor, you have to have a content what?
What's the question?
If you have to, when you use a content editor, you have to have a content area. So, the way you know how to do this part, I hope you know how to do this part. I'll just do a fast review. To add, you want to go home. Go to Add, Content Area. And you put a name here, and then available to user. And I'm going to use one I made this morning to be right here. It's OTC14. Okay? And that's where I'll go. Down the bottom. You can move these up, like you can in Google. You go like this, you can just drag it up. Boom! It's live, ready to go. Okay? So I'll click on that. And I'm going to, these are some of the ones I made this morning. So I'm going to delete these. Why does my mouse jump around in this frame? Oh, okay. Now, sorry about that. I should have done that in the way, and I'm sorry about that. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to use is going to use area. I'm sorry, field of content item. Okay. You can't do it in file. You can't do it in item. An item is the most popular tool that you can use for learning modules, for putting items in the folders and that kind of stuff. You can also use a blank page as well, but I want to use the item. It's the same setup. Now, in the item, this is your screen you're going to get. And most of you will probably have, if you go for the first time, you'll see it in a single row like this. If that is the case, you know what? I'll try something. Hold on one second. I'm going to make this screen a little bit bigger. You know how you can do this? You can shrink that, right? You know about that? Okay. So you guys are going to call my phone number at Orange Coast College and say I can't get my menu back, right? I I swear, I get them. I get them. The song, I can't come on, get my menu back. Okay. Scary. Okay. So some of this, here's another one. So you get the single row. For the first time, once you get to click on this double-headed arrow going down, that's when you get the rest of the tool. And it stays that way until you accidentally click that button again. Or if Blackboard gets reset by a patch or something, sometimes that will contract. Okay? So you want to leave it like this. Okay? But here's another thing. I don't know about you, but if I'm working in the content, making content after content after content, and that's small window. What's your target is on Fairview? Just down the street, we have a place called Fairview Developmental Center. That's where I would go if I was working on this window. Okay? There's a neat trick in here. Watch this. If you click on this four-headed arrow right there, you get to have the full screen. It's like a word processing screen. Okay? So you got this whole area that you can work with. That's really cool for laptop, especially if you're on a laptop. You can do this. You can push the menu to the side, expand it, and you got that still, a small screen. I do not recommend it on the iPad. Okay? With the iPad, I guarantee you'll get a headache. Okay. Now, as you can see, these tools are very much like Word or Dreamweaver or whatever you guys use. If you put your mouse over them, they'll tell you what they are. Bold, italic, underline, drive-through. Okay. Now, you got paragraph, you got area of the fonts. I'm not going to go through all of these. I just want to show you a couple of things here. One of the things that you want to be careful of is between using paragraphs and the font size. People go, well, wait a minute, what's the difference between the two? Well, back in HTML, how do you guys know HTML? How do you guys even know what that stands for? You don't know what HTML stands for? It's I had to ask. Hypertext Markup Language. That's what makes up the web. Okay? That's how the browser interprets the stuff to see what you like to see. You don't want to see the HTML code. Although, you should learn basic HTML. Because you may sometimes have to go in and tweak it a little bit. Okay? It's always a chance. Do I know it? Oh yeah. I've been teaching HTML, Dreamweaver. I use Linda Wyman's good stuff in my Dreamweaver class, so there you have it. So, this paragraph, what that does is a special tag for web stuff. And you have heading, subheading 2, paragraph, formatted code. The reason why you want to do this instead of just automatically typing like you go in a Word, go Arial, highlight, put a size 12, Arial, whatever. It doesn't always work across the browsers. Okay? One of the biggest headaches that you're going to find out when you're using these things is the browsers. The browsers like to have, they all have their own personality anymore. I swear to God, I take Advil every day as I get out of work because I have to deal with these browser wars. So these things, if you use this, it'll help eliminate a lot of the issues of how they appear. If you just use Arial 12 or Arial 14 and something like that, sometimes it won't work. Sometimes it's going to look a little funky. Now, this formatting code is really cool. This is new. How many of you guys, does anybody teach programming? Computer programming? Well, then we'll just pass by that sucker, huh? So basically, if you were to teach HTML, for example, you can use the formatted code and in the end, and it will ignore it. It helps ignore the browser. So if you were to do something like this, if you want to make a word in bold, this is how you do it. Don't get scared. It's just HTML code. See, I can't spell my name right. Okay. If you leave it like this, without using the HTML, the browser is going to go, huh? Okay. If you put this into a formatted code, it will keep it that way without trying to interpret it. Does that make sense? So if you're doing like programming, Or if you have some weird stuff in certain things like math and science and stuff, you can do that. You can take care of that. Check that out. You have auto bullets and auto numbers and that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, welcome to absent-minded professor. Okay, so you can do something like this. You can highlight that, and that should be like a, hey, grab that guy. So you can highlight, and I'm going to make this into a heading. You see what happens? It right next to each other. So what you could do is a trick to that. You can do what's called a soft return. That's hold the shift and the enter key. But in web, you want to be careful because that can run them right next to each other. If you want to break it, that's what's called break code. Yeah. So when you hit the enter key, you can now separate them. Okay. Those are little things you have to be careful of between Word and doing this. It's not word processing. This is web printing. You're going to have make sure you got your lines and that kind of stuff. You got to keep your eyes on that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and go back here and put this back to heading. Okay, so now I've got a problem. So I'm going to go to the HTML box right here. And you can, there are, see the PRE code right here? That's my problem. I got to take that out. Take that out. So I can do H1. Nope. Not let me do it. Uh-oh, looks like... Where are you going? Charge of $50. Okay. Here's that break code. So what I can also do this. I can take this all out and then update it. And then start over again. Welcome to a class where we don't turn people. This is a very awkward position for me to type. Okay, so this is the regular one. Okay. So let's try to header one again. Now you can decorate it with this. See? So that's how you fix the code. If the code is going to look right, it just will not go away. You go to HTML and find it. That pre-code is always hard to get rid of. You just can't use delete. Okay? And then you can do things like this. You have text colors. By the way, I had a good question this morning. These are two things, web-safe colors and ADA compliance colors. In Service Pack 13, you have more colors than this. Those are not all ADA compliant. So what does that mean? So when you go to Service Pack 14, you're going to probably need to go through, you have color text, and fix that a little bit. Okay? So I'm going to make that, I'll make it red. This mouse is not like cooperating. And then I'll make a bold. And then highlight too long. The highlighting tool is totally awesome. Look at that. Okay? Use it. And then the student can't go faster. You say, where did the student? What color of highlight did you not see? Okay. Now, there's also auto bullets and auto numbering. Okay, so there's a bullet here. Right here. The auto bullet has different kinds. You can click on the arrow square, you get circle, disc, and square. The auto number also has its own system now in Service Pack 14. So Service Pack 15 has this. There's lower alpha, lower Greek, lower Roman, upper alpha, upper Roman, Games of Thrones. No, I'm just kidding, Okay, but here's what I recommend. When you want to make a list, it's better to make the list first and then apply the item list on top of it. Okay, that's just the way it has been with web technology, just because web has always been that way. It's not Dreamweaver, it's not, it's not Blackboard, it's not just web technology. So let's put in here, Elaine is the queen, Eric is the nut, and let's see, we'll do Linda is co-queen of content, and then I'll put my kid in here. Patrick is what? Okay. So I'll put it down. So now what I'll do is I will highlight these and then apply the bullets. Does that make sense? Because sometimes when I found if you type wired out of bullets, sometimes it'll add extra space and you just can't get rid of that sucker. And it's called L-span. Those have always been around. They've been around since HTML4. Sometimes they're just not easy to deal with. But if you do it this way, you won't get that problem. Okay? Any questions so far? Cool. Now, many people have asked me, well, what if I want to add a graphic in there? I want to make it spectacular. Okay? Well, move this down. And there are two ways you could do that. I'm going to show you. We're trying to do both. The first one is using a table. Okay? I don't know how you ever use the word table in those days when you're using Word as a publisher type of thing. Okay. The same kind of thing in the web here. The table in web can contain, it acts like a container. Okay? Okay. I thought this one was very crazy. Okay. All right. So I click on the table. You see this table, insert, edit table right there, right? And I'll click on that, and we get this handy dandy tool. And I want to put these two columns. I'll do one row. I'm just going to do just make a heading type of thing. Okay? I'm going to take the border out, so put 0. Here's the trick. You see what it says width? You want to change that to 100%. If you leave it on 200, it's going to stay like this. The screen that way, it's going to be like this. It won't change. If you put it 100%, it can stay the 100% with the viewable area. Okay, so we're tricking the web technology here. That's been around for a long time. Table caption is always good. If you're doing sophisticated table figures and that kind of stuff, you need to put that in for ADA compliance. Right? And then I want to go ahead and click. Oh, this is handy. There we go. Insert. There's the table. Can you guys see it? That's the table. Now, I'm going to put a picture in here. This is how it works. You see that little image? Insert, edit, image. Another one is good screen. I'm going to browse. Now, this is already in the course, so I'm just going to go browse my course. There it is. I'm going to click on that. Click submit. Now, I can tell right there that's way too big. Okay? I can't recognize what it is. I know what it is, but I can't recognize it here. So, there's a neat tool in here now that if I click on the appearance. By the way, image description, that is the alt tag. You must have something there by law. There's an ADA compliance. Okay? So you're going to put something there. I'm going to put. And what it does, it serves two purposes. The first purpose, it serves for the handicapped, for the blind especially. The second one is also if the picture is broken, you'll see that in its place. Does that make sense? Okay. Oh,
Blackboard Classroom, are you creating this example content? What forum, tab, or folder?
It's in the content area. There's a Blackboard content area. Lost that person already. You have to be in the content areas. So now I'm going to click Appearance. 4,000 by 3,000 pixels. Okay, that's about that's a poster. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to take the larger size and reduce it to 220 pixels. And by the way, leave this alone. Leave that constraint alone. Okay, the tab over. And because if you uncheck the constraint, you get a deflated tire or a blown up balloon. Or you want that. Now, if you did not want to use this table, and you want to add what's called white space between the picture and your text, you go into vertical space and you add like 6 points or 7 or something like that. The problem with that, it doesn't always work. Okay, because the browsers. Okay, you see this gray here I'm getting? It's not my wife and my kid. It's the browser wars I'm dealing with every day. That's why she's got that. It's CCC conference with all these stupid web browser wars we have to deal with, the Flash and all that stuff in Java. Well, just get out at it. All right. So now I'm going to find Insert. That's my kid. 15 years old. All right. So now I'm going to find, I'm in the second column over here. I'm going to type something in there. And that's going to be why are you looking at me? Okay? He always asks me that. Well, we see me and he says, what? What are you looking at me for? It's your fault. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so again, now here, you can highlight it. In this case, if you want to, you can use the point system here. I'm just going to go ahead and put this up to 18, and we'll change the font color to blue. Okay. Now, any questions so far? Now, one person asked me, what did we have to do with the collection of pictures? This one is a collection of pictures with descriptions on them. I think is what it was. There's an anthropology class or art class. You can just, same method, but have like 6 rows or 7 rows or whatever rows of the pictures you want. There's a picture here and then the description next to it. You can do that. Okay, and the way, if you want, by the way, to add more to these, see in Word, all you have to do is just tab, as another row. And here, you have to do something different. Again, this is web technology. I can find my mouse. Okay, so we're going to somehow click on that table. See it flashes all the time? There you go. You go to Insert and a Table. It brings up the table edit, and then you can add more rows. Okay? If you reduce your rows, watch your content because you may lose them. Okay? So be careful when you're reducing. Okay? Make sense? Have I lost anybody yet? Right click. Right click. So if you make a change, then you can say, yeah. Sure. That's a great question. I'm going to cover that in just a second. It's a great question. So I'm going to go, now normally if you make a change, I'll click Insert. I'm just going to close this out. By the way, one of the things I found out is don't use this red X when you're using these tools. If you don't do anything, just go ahead and do a cancel. Okay, so sometimes the red X may affect something, you never know. You may hit the key with your elbow or a telephone cable or something, you know. Okay, so So you guys are basically, you have cut, copy, and paste. You've got your alignments here. You can indent and outdent. There's your subscript, superscript. If you're writing science stuff, and then you can do that. There used to be a math table in here. Oh, we don't have it turned on yet because we're looking at Pearson. One of the things that you can do, you can also have symbols. There's copyright symbols and that kind of stuff is also available in there. That's pretty cool. The spell check is pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as Word, but at least you can run it just to make sure. Okay? So what?
There's Spanish in there too.
Now the other thing I want to do is I want to show you how you can add a video, because I almost forgot that this morning. I was a bad boy. Okay. Now, at our campus, when we do video, if the faculty makes their own video, and that includes narration from PowerPoint, using Camtasia, Captivate, whatever it is, we want those videos on our Flash server. We do not want to put them on the Blackboard server. Because our Blackboard is hosted, but videos eat up space so fast. And each school, each account, you get only so much on your account. If you go above that quota, it gets to be very expensive. We found it out the hard way about 6 years ago. We had a huge overload on this because one of our teachers had too much. So be very careful. So we laid down the policy, any videos you make, the faculty make, or that we make in the multimedia department, we put it on the Flash server. But now, we may start looking at the 3C media solution, which you guys have been hearing the last couple of days. It's another phenomenal way. You don't have to worry about it. You make the videos, you work with the people there, and they'll help you connect to Blackboard and that kind of stuff, okay? What will happen is you upload the video, and then you'll get a link after a couple hours where it's converted, and you put that link into here. Using the links now. I'll show you in a minute, okay? So that's what we recommend. Instead of audio files, we have iTunes University. How do you guys have iTunes University? Really? Only one? It doesn't cost you a penny. iTunes University is where if you want to do podcasting or voice recording, that kind of stuff, you just want to do, like a little podcasting series, you can do that with iTunes University with Apple. And you just set up an account, and they give you all the information in there in a couple of days. It's called education, and they will take care of that for you, which is really cool. Really, really cool. So let's see, there's also YouTube. You see this mashup? I click on this drop down and I go down to YouTube video. It's going to look for me YouTube education area. Basically, it's filtered out from the horrible song, naked bodies, drugs, and all that crap. Okay? So you do a search, and okay, so I'm just having Keller, and then hit go. Okay, and then, so here's the one I wanted. So let's say you want to look at before you choose. You can click on the preview button right here. And it goes out on me. I don't know why. There it goes. Okay. And then you say you watch it. And then you say you want to, yeah, I'll take that video. It's like shopping. Shopping without spending money. The way your spouse likes it. You go to select. Right here. Click on select. And here, you can, I would just leave everything as is. You can change the title if you want to, if that's too much for you. But you can change all this stuff. I would leave all this information alone, and I'll click submit. And then what it's going to do, it's going to look like it's right in the middle of your content. So now it made an interactive content in one window. Now, be really careful, be realistic. Don't make your content area too long. You want to do it, of course, what I was taught by Joyce Bishop from Glen West College, chunk. You're going to chunk your stuff down. You don't want your students to be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You want to keep them short and simple, like little chapters, which you want to do, okay? So now all you have to do is watch the video. Oh, now let me show you the video. I'm going to go ahead and save it and show you the student view. And I'm going to go up, and I'm going to go down to minimize. I have to go back out of this maximize one now. See? And then I'm going to go ahead and click on submit. And if you don't see this Act 14, look at this. Go to student view. It's right there. Now I got them ready. Right there. That's a really nice tool. I recommend if you have to give your student orientation the first day of school and how to use it, switch to that. They don't see it. Here's what happens. Let me bring the menu back out. Yo, menu. When I click on student view, this is what happens. Your button becomes return to teacher view up here, but notice your control panel is not there, and you can't accidentally show student screens, student grades, student information. You can't accidentally do it. Okay? So basically, it covers your you-know-what. So I'm going to go to OTC14. Does that look good? Okay. You see how it keeps it nice and open? It's not scrunched together, that kind of stuff. And then it's go, oh, let's watch this video. And
when I saw Helen Keller first, she was 6 years and 8 months old. She had been blind and deaf and mute since her 19th month as the result of an illness. She had no way of communicating with those around her except a few imitative signs that she had made for herself. A push meant go and a pull meant come and so on. She had observed that we did not use the hands. We were talking to each other. And I let her see, by putting her hand on my face, how we talked with our mouths. She felt the vibration of the spoken word. Instantly, she felt, I want to talk with my mouth. That seemed impossible. But after experimenting for a time, we found that placing her hand in this position, the thumb resting on the throat, right at the larynx, the first finger on the lips, the second on the nose, we found that she could feel the vibration of spoken words. For instance, the throat, she feels the G, the hard G, G. And on the lips, she feels and the K sound. On the lips, she feels the V, and with the second finger on the nose, the nasal sounds, the The first word she learned to articulate was the little word it. With the hand in this position, I made the vowel it. She felt it. It. Then I made the T. She feels it with the finger on her lips, on my lips. Then I put the two letters together to form the word it. And the first word was learned. After her 7th lesson, she was able to speak the sentence word by word. I am not dumb now.
no. Okay. This is touching your hand. Okay. So now you got the idea how powerful just adding that little video into your content can make a very powerful, it grabs them, okay? So that's the kind of stuff that you could do. So, now, we had a question earlier about copying from another source into here. Now, first of all, I want to make sure they understand that when we do copy and pasting, this is a technology error or issue in there. That's not a Blackboard issue. So sometimes what I'm saying is it's not going to come over 100% correct all the time. However, Blackboard has done a phenomenal job coming out very well. You'll still have to tweak it a little bit. Let me show you. I'm going to faster teach it to you because I can't do anything in there. And then OTC14. And I'm going to make another content area called item. And this is a copy and paste. And then what I'm going to do, let me maximize. There we go. I've got a Word document Thank you. And I already have it on the screen, so no, maybe not. I'm not going to throw you guys in the Greek stuff. I'll just keep this stuff there, and that's mine. Okay. So let's say I want to copy, all of this, okay? And I do right-click, copy, switch to Blackboard. Now, here's the catch. In Blackboard, they want you to use your keyboard shortcut. Even though there's a paste command in here, if you hit paste, sometimes you're going to get that. Do not ask me why. I've asked Blackboard, and they said the same thing. Don't ask me why. It's most likely probably the Java, it's called Java console issue, which is outside of Blackboard's purview. They can't fix that. It's a Java issue. Okay? Now, just so you know, this is where, for those of you who are thinking about leaving Blackboard, don't. Because the next version of Blackboard is called Ajax. There's no more Java, no more Flash required, HTML5 and Ajax. We're going to have probably less than 1/3 of the problem we're having right now. Okay, so stick with Blackboard and hang in there. I'm going to Control V. Okay, now this is pretty good. Okay, for me, that's pretty good. If you have bullets and auto bullets and numbers, you will probably have to redo those. If you have table, it depends on how sophisticated the table is. If it's a basic table, you're probably okay. So if you have some other stuff in there, especially formulas, even within Word, because Word uses a formula in the tables now. It might not like it. It's going to say error. So you're going to understand that's the formula part. Yeah.
You know, I think the big question is I have some that I keep in the website open. And when I copied it and pasted it in a content, it looks funny until I loaded it from the student's view, and it went on and on and on past the margin. How can I fix that?
The best way to do that is switch to HTML code, and then switch this to the HTML screen right here. Turn your word wrap on the upper right on, and paste it in this window instead. With the HTML codes. Yes, especially if you have tables, sophisticated web tables and stuff, this is the way to do it. You go into like Dreamweaver or whatever program you're using, Expression, and and Expression works great now. Expression replaces front page from Microsoft. Okay? So if you switch to HTML view, highlight the whole thing, copy that, go back to Blackboard, and switch to HTML screen, which is, I'll show you where it is. It's right here. It's a little HTML box right there. You click on that, turn on the word wrap, click in there, and paste it. And then don't change anything. Go ahead and click Update and see what happens. Okay, so how they interpret might be a little bit different. Does that help? Yes, ma'am.
Can you save a Word document in HTML form and do the same thing?
I do not recommend that because you have Word and HTML mixed together in a bag. That's a really bad bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that brings up another issue. But go ahead. What was I say?
So this, you're saying this new copy and paste is only really working in Service Pack 14?
This HTML has been in Service Pack 13, Service Pack 13 and 14, and they'll work just fine both.
Really?
Yep. Yep. What was happening with before Blackboard Learn 9, you had, because you click on HTML, everything was in HTML mode. You couldn't switch back to design like here. You can cancel it or move out of it and get back to design. You switch to HTML, you're going to be stuck in that HTML screen for everything you do. It was a pain. It was horrible. Blackboard listened. Okay? They do a good job listening to us. And then they added an HTML black that screen, which is really, 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 really helpful. Okay? Now Word, good old Microsoft loves to add codes to the Word documents, Windows or Mac. They get a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes. Let's say that stuff. I mean it in George Carlin's way, stuff that can cause problems. So what you can do is this would be the worst case scenario. If nothing is working, you're going to the HTML stuff and you're going to say, and it's go, why is this not appearing the way I want it to go? And it's because Microsoft is saying, yes. They do it all the time. So what you can do is you export to text. Okay? You export to text. So you go to File, Save As, put this to plain text. And what that does, it cleans out and scrubs everything from Word. It says, bye-bye Microsoft. Go play with Bill Gates in his mansion when he's retired there. And then you click Save. I'm going to put number 2 here because I got one up there. The problem is, the mistake that everybody makes, you go back into Microsoft Word and you open up the text file and you put the codes back in. Oh, don't do that. What you want to do is you want to use Notepad. Go to here. Woohoo, Notepad, shut up. Go to Notepad, and just so you know, you know how we have Linda Wyman taking us back in the history this morning? Did you know that Notepad was the very first HTML builder? Notepad was the one that built the very first web page. Because all HTML is text. That's all it is. It's code and just putting it in there. So now what you can do is you go to File, Open.
But when you convert it to the TXT file, it strips all your... It strips everything. So it's basically all of what you wanted to copy is gone in the renewed platform, right?
Yeah, definitely. So now, unfortunately, this Notepad that way didn't work this morning either. I don't use this. I use for text editing. I use BB Edit on the Mac side, and on Windows I use something else that I got. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But she's right. So what happens is you'll have the interior font. You copy that and you paste that, like you normally do, and then decorate it in here. But that's good because then you're doing with clean code. It's what's called clean HTML code. Because what this page is here, what you see here, Blackboard did the work, did all this for you. So if you want to do this, do all this programming, go ahead. If you have the training, okay? But that's the way you have to do it. And see, what happens is the web browser interprets this so we can see what we see. The browsers don't see. The browsers don't see this. They don't understand this. They understand the page that I had, including this. This is not text. These are programmed buttons done in PHP. That's all the browser sees, and it presents it to you. It says, ta-da, here's the button, got a key in it, it might fold. So anyway. Now, how much time do I have for this? 7 minutes? Okay. Okay. You can't go. What did I say? Did I go over your head? Oh, yes, ma'am. I don't think so. I don't think so. Please. Yeah, you're right. Yes, you have to. Yes, you're right. That's what my senior programmer had to do for a couple of things. Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Essentially, it is not.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the problems when I try to do that, is the screen starts to go on for the
You tell Notepad to do word wrap.
I got weird breaks.
You do the word wrap. Turn on word wrap.
Word wrap.
Yeah.
But no, I was fine about filling it. No, you can't sort of. You put the word wrap there. Turn it on in Blackboard. So I'm showing you before about the word wrap for each, you know.
Well, I can't. This is not working properly. What he's saying is sometimes, especially the text file, is a good point. The text can go for miles and miles. You paste it. You might go up to the parking lot. Okay. So, and what happens is you have to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling from left to right horizontally, and then you go, where was I over here? So what you do is you turn the format word wrap. It doesn't impact the programming. So it impacts the HTML code. It's just for your view only. Okay? The only time that something is impacted is we put in what's called a BR break code. P code for paragraph. Order OL or UL, which is organized or unorganized list. Those kinds of things. That breaks the cycle. But for here, just turn the word wrap, and it will not interfere with your stuff that you got in there. Okay. Is there any other questions? Now, again, videos and audio. I really would recommend you contact your Blackboard administrators and see what their policies are about putting videos and that kind of stuff. You may want to start working with 3C Media Solutions. It's free. It doesn't cost you $110. And you get all the services, and can put your PowerPoint with a PDF and upload it to your Camtasia or whatever, and it goes into screen, and then you put it into your Blackboard. Yeah.
You came from a session where Donna Einstein was saying create your own videos. What kind of format should be considered as an asset? Did you ask us for graphics?
Wait, for the what?
For like MP4 or?
For the video? That's a good question, because you have WPA Windows, you have MP4, which is QuickTime, you have Flash. Flash is the most universal, okay, across the world. Okay, the problem with Flash is that it keeps getting updated, and keeps getting updated, and updated. Flash 14 just came out last week. Drove my IT staff up the wall. So the Flash is the most, but you have to understand FLA, FLA file versus SWF file. And you got to understand how that works. So it's always good to contact your multimedia department, your Blackboard administrators, see what they want to do, if they know how to do it. I'm sorry, I used to wear contacts, but I think I hurt my eye yesterday. Or use 3C Media. You got, again, the 3C Media, and I'm not trying to be modest here, but it is a great solution for a lot of different problems and issues that we're struggling with technology. Because videos and stuff is a little challenging, but they are awesome to make your content interactive. Okay? Now remember, when it's structural videos, you can put them all up there. chunk them, okay? But in the film, like Star Wars, Jaws, that stuff, you can only get under the Teach Act, you can only do 10 minutes. You can't do the whole video. Plus, you have to have a copy of that video in the library, or not. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's under the Teach Act. Something else I was going to talk about but They'll come to me. Is there any other question? Any additional questions? The Service Pack 14, is there anything in Service Pack 14 you all, oh, we had a really good one, really doozy this morning. Real fast, date management. Anybody heard about the date management tool? Most of you guys have. It's so cool. What it is, let me, this class, I'll make this the last one and we'll get ready to go home. Well, I'm going to hit Starbucks first. Okay. Here's of course. Why do you have so what? No. Yeah. Okay, let's go here. Okay. So first of all, the date management tool, you all know how to do course copies, right? You go from one semester to another. Okay? Well, in that, how many of you have dates? You have due dates to your stuff. You got open dates. You got closed dates. You've got now adaptive release. Well, guess what? If you go down to course tools and you see date management, and what will happen? My mouse is just jumping around. Come on. There, it's sorted. What will happen is based on the information on this screen, you have course start date, which I don't recommend you use. I recommend using term, because everything is set by term in Blackboard. You can't have any shells in the system without having a term set up. Okay? You can adjust the number of days, that's all they would do. You click on this, you click start. It's going to go through your entire course. Look for every due date, open date, close date, and now adaptive release. Put it all on one screen. And adjust it closely to the next semester dates. You will then be able to go through and adjust it in there by adding a couple of days, taking a couple of days. And it's cool, it's animated. It goes, wah, wah, success! But it's really cool. It's really cool. This way you don't have to go through every single one of those stinking tools to adjust all those dates. It's one screen. Okay? It's a very nice tool. That's a good feature, Service Pack 14. The other thing you want to look into is the retention center. You know this is the retention center? Retention center, just briefly, I can't do it because I don't have any live students in here. If you go to, we'll make that be the last one of the people leaving me, God. Evaluation, retention center. It will go through, it takes a little while, it'll spin and spin and spin. But it's populating information as of right now, this second. Who is doing what, who's in, who hasn't been in, who is failing, all this kind of stuff. If you get a graph, you can communicate inside that. You can send an email to the students saying, I'm concerned about your grade, and they'll trail it with inside there, which goes into accordance to accreditation's new policy that I'm sure all of us have been cited for, regular effective contact. Remember that? REC? We've all been fined for it. Don't you just love the ACTC? Yeah, me. But also, it's for online classes. You have to have evidence of regular effective communication initiated by the faculty. That's the new accreditation policy. That will help meet with that policy. So it's a really good tool. It's a good way to find that, keep your students active, and because one of the things the students don't realize, yeah, Blackboard is a cool tool, but they don't realize how much tool you have. They don't get it. It just scares the crap out of them sometimes, I'm telling you. Anybody have any questions? Thank you so much for staying here. Thank you, everybody.